funding bodies have, I believe, slowly started to embrace and recognise companies that are being energy efficient. For the IMJAC application that we did this year, which was funded and we're doing next year, 2015, we actually put into the application that we wanted to be more energy efficient with regards to the touring aspect of the set. So we requested that we wouldn't go down the road of hiring an independent freight driver and independent truck. We requested that we would do everything within the company, so to speak, so that the stage manager and the actor would travel with the set, because the set fits into a van as well as their luggage. So we made sure that we included that and spoke about it quite clearly in the application, so that they were aware that it wasn't a way of just trying to reduce costs. It was actually another layer to that. It was about making sure that we were constantly thinking of energy efficient ways to tour. The other aspect of it was that they could see that we were trying to engage with the community in a different way as well, in that we were trusting those communities to support us with regards to a couple of moves. We're going to employ somebody from the town to travel the truck to the next town to give the stage manager and an actor a break. So we're actively engaging workers within those communities to work with us. So they really liked that community engagement aspect of our application as well, which was great. So touring internationally, next year a big thing that we've decided to do is to actually build the set in America, which is where we're going to tour. So rather than just transport our set from Australia to America, which of course requires a truck to pick it up from here, take it to the port, load it onto a ship travels to America, and then a number of different trucks to then just eventually get it to the venue, we decided that it would be better to actually build the set in America. So there are a couple of different companies that are able to do that for us. So that is scary and exciting at the same time, because of course you're trusting that they can build it, which I'm sure they will, and then to get into the venue with a new set will be really interesting process for us as a company, something that we believe is important to do as well, because it does require a lot of energy to actually just transport a small set as well, because this particular show does fit into, it wouldn't even fit into a half sea container, so it would either have to be packed with another show or with something else, or you would have most of a container empty. So again, it's not being efficient because we've got dead empty space within a container. So it was many of those reasons that we decided to go down that road of actually, no, let's just go with it and build it in America and take it from there. To support a touring party on the road, it would be great to have tools that the company could use there and then on the spot. So it could even be potentially something, could even be an app or something like that, that they each have on their computer, on their phone, so that they can register the kilometres there and then on the spot. For example, with our tours, with Pete the Sheep Tour, this year we went to 53 different venues around the entire country, travelling into every single state and territory. So they've picked up a ridiculous amount of hire cars. We had 2 hire cars for each for the touring party. They didn't fit into just one vehicle, so we had to have 2 vehicles. And so it's a lot of time and thinking, I guess, in amongst trying to get to a airport to trying to get to a venue for a bump in or a publicity call, to then kind of remember a number to go home, put it into the computer, put it into the Excel spreadsheet, or send an email to me. So I think something like that would be great, an app of some kind. I was speaking to somebody who believes that at some point we shouldn't be touring shows because it does take up so much energy to move a show from tour to tour, from town to town. And it was an interesting concept because they believed that it should be the community that is creating, and that the show is created somewhere and then the skeleton, I guess, is then given to that town for that town to then create. And that's a really kind of interesting concept. But I think it's also, I'm not sure I 100% agree with that. I think that we still have a place and should have a place for touring productions into those communities, so that, yes, it is important that those communities share their own stories, but I think that those communities, as we do here in a capital city, hear other stories as well. We constantly get other stories come into our communities, so I believe that those other communities should get other stories brought into them and should have other people come into their community so they can hear and experience other people coming into their community as well, whether it's our teaching artists or our performers. Our performers just sharing their time with question and answer after a show is just as important as the performance itself. So I really thought about that from a long-term perspective of, is that where touring is going to go in regards to being energy efficient? And I found it a little sad to think that that could possibly be one way of going, and thought, no, I think we need to find more innovative, hands-on way with regards to making sure that our productions can be energy efficient in moving from town to town.